The canoe is heavier than it looks. I drag it out from beneath the branches we'd piled over it a couple of days ago. The ground is slick beneath my feet, and I keep slipping as I haul it toward the creek a few feet at a time. My side throbs with every pull, but the sun is going down fast, so I grit my teeth and keep moving. For some reason, the whole thing feels strangely familiar. I shake it off. I've got more important things to worry about. The creek bubbles and churns, but it's not a very big creek. Not that I know much about creeks. I grew up in the city, just like Mel did. We are both from the same neighborhood, a rough one on the east side. The wrong side, I suppose some call it, but I never had a problem with it. Yeah, sure, you could get your nose broken or a tooth knocked out if you looked at the wrong person sideways, but that's just shit you learned to deal with. I said Mel and I are from the same neighborhood, but as I look down at my blood-soaked shirt, it starts to set in that Mel ain't from nowhere no more. He's just a slab of meat, probably laid out on a metal table in the county morgue. With the canoe situated in the water, I take off my backpack and toss it on the bench seat, then climb in after. The canoe rocks dangerously, and my pack slips off the bench and drops to the floor. Sitting down, I grab the pack, pull out one of the clips Mel insisted we bring, and secure it to the inside of the canoe. Mel said that we weren't gonna go to all the trouble of robbing the place just to lose the diamonds at the bottom of some creek. I'm not a canoeer, so what do I know? I'll have to trust Mel on this one. Not that he's here or anything. Shoving off from the shore, I push my fear down deep. I can do this. I'm only going about 5 miles down, and the creek is calm. Or should be calm. It's moving faster than I'd like at the moment, probably due to all the rain we've been getting. I glance up at the purple-pink horizon. The sun is almost gone, and the woods are getting darker by the second. I should get one of the headlamps out of the backpack and put it on. This canoe shit is hard enough in bright sunlight. Doing it in the dark is not gonna be a picnic. Of course, the plan was to be here hours ago. Ditching the car at the cutout, hiking the 10 miles into the creek, then canoeing down 5 miles to the cabin was how it all should have gone. But that damn guard, had to pull his pistol just as we were almost to the door. So I pulled mine, and the store turned into the goddamn OK Corral. Mel got hit in the crossfire. It's that simple. Now, here I am, all alone with a couple of $1 million worth of diamonds and a new JanSport backpack, paddling down a creek for the first time in my life, hoping the police didn't track my car to that cutout. If they did, maybe they couldn't track me to the creek. And even if they can do that, and they have dogs or something, the creek will cover my tracks and scent.
Right, Charlie.
I flinch and go still, listening hard over the rush of water against the rocks. I hear an owl somewhere in the woods. There's a yap and bark. Could be a fox or a raccoon.
Raccoons don't yap and bark, Charlie.
I jerk my head around, looking left, looking right. Nothing. Who's there? I wait, but there's no answer. Yeah, I should get that headlamp out now. Setting the paddle down with shaking hands, I grab the pack, forgetting that it's clipped to the canoe. I yank so hard I almost topple myself into the creek. Pain tears through my side, but I have no time for this. I take a couple of deep breaths, wincing. Then I unclip the pack, unzip the large front pocket, and dig around for one of the headlamps. I find one, make sure it works, then pull the strap over my head. Much better. I can see most of the creek around me now. Got some rocks coming up ahead, so I grab the paddle again and try to do as Mel taught me. I paddle and paddle, getting the canoe to turn slightly so that I don't ram the rocks head on. The canoe eases by, just barely scraping the rocks. See, Mel? I told you I could do it. I laugh, wishing my pal were here.
Do you? Do you, Charlie?
I gasp and whip my head around in all directions. Hello? No answer. Which makes sense, because who would be out on this creek at night? I mean, other than me. A shiver runs through me because of the chill of the night descending on the creek. I grit my teeth and focus on the task in front of me. More rocks. I don't do as well this time, banging the tip of the canoe hard against a jagged one, sticking about 2 feet up out of the water. It almost spins me around, but I manage to shove off a different rock and keep the canoe from turning ass backwards. My head stays on a swivel, watching for rocks, and for whoever that voice belongs to. It sounds familiar, too familiar. Laughter drifts through the air, directionless, aimless, lost. I want to shout and ask who is out there, but I don't. There's no one. It's just stress. Stress of the robbery gone south. Stress of leaving Mel behind. Stress of driving that car like a bat out of hell, losing the cops a mile outside of town. The stress of finding the cutout. Stress of the hike. Stress of this damn canoe. It's a wonder I don't keel over now from a heart attack. I keep paddling, aiming my headlamp straight ahead. Water laps at the side of the canoe. Another owl hoot, hoot, hoots. I smile at the sound.
What you grinning at, Charlie?
I yelp because that voice was in my ear, like he was sitting right next to me. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Mel. That was Mel. I call out to him, even though I know he can't be here. But that voice. I call out again. Only the fox, somewhere in the night, replies with a short bark and a rustling of bushes by the creek's bank. I paddle a little faster, a little harder. It's exhaustion, that's all. Hearing stuff because I'm just so tired. It's like the life is draining out of me. I hear a chuckle from a big rock to my right. I shine my headlamp that way, but all I see are some sticks and moss. A chuckle from my left, and I whip my head that way. More moss, more sticks, lots of leaves. No Mel. My arms are getting sore from paddling, so I stop for a moment and let the current take me down the creek. There's that pain in my side, made worse from paddling so hard, so fast, so I take a couple of deep breaths. It hurts even more when I do that, so I take shallow breaths. Better. Without me steering, the canoe becomes a long wooden pinball and bounces from rock to rock. It'd be sort of fun if it wasn't for the reason I'm here in this canoe, here all alone. The look on Mel's face after he was shot is burned into my brain. How his eyes got all wide and his mouth slipped open in a silent scream. How his skin turned so white so fast as he collapsed onto the floor of that jewelry store. How I tried to reach for him, but stopped as bullets pinged all around me. How I turned and ran just as Mel's eyes rolled up into his head, his body surrounded by blood, so much blood. More laughter. I grab the paddle and hold it like a bat, turning slowly as I search the darkness. Someone is out there. Someone has to be. Stay back! I've got a gun! It's a lie. I bury the gun a couple of miles back, deep enough that I still have dirt packed under my fingernails. The laughter stops. I stay silent, hoping that the creek will take me far away from whoever is messing with me. That pain in my side flares up again and I wince, pressing my hand to the spot. It's tender to the touch, painfully tender. The laughter returns, softer this time, barely more than a chuckle. I force myself to ignore it and focus on the pain in my side. I lift up my shirt and take a look at my side, the headlamp's light glaring off the bright red blood that flows from between my ribs. How the hell did that happen? I don't remember cutting myself or scratching myself on the hike. The chuckle stops. I swing my headlamp toward the sound and catch a raccoon near the creek bank. The light startles it, and it darts back into the trees.
You left me.
I gasp and tense as I let my shirt fall back in place. It instantly sticks to the blood, making the whole area itch. I don't know what is worse, the pain from the actual wound or the itching of my shirt. I shake my head. I didn't leave him. He was dead. Mel was dead. He was dead, dead, dead. Right? He was dead, wasn't he? Wasn't he? I'm not so sure now. Yeah, I saw all that blood. More blood than a person can lose and still survive. I saw him lying in that blood as his eyes rolled up into his head. That's how people die. Their eyes roll up into their heads. But maybe not. Maybe he hadn't died yet, and I left him there on the floor of some jewelry store. Left him to die with strangers firing guns all around him. Left him to die after the last thing he saw was me running away. Me running away. Oh God, I did leave him. I could have dragged him out, maybe gotten him to the car and to a hospital and saved him. But that's not what happened. I left him. The canoe bumps against a rock and starts to turn. I dig the paddle into the water and manage to straighten it out before the current spins me around. Mel made this look a hell of a lot easier when he showed me. I keep paddling. There's a shout from far off in the woods, and I glance over that way, seeing flashlight beams far back in the trees. My hand snaps up to my headlamp, and I switch it off. Is it the cops? Oh shit, it's the cops. A chuckle. A close one. I don't have time for it, no matter how terrifying the laugh is. I need to stay low and get this canoe moving faster without making enough noise for the cops to find me. But I don't know how. This canoeing thing makes noise. The paddle slaps the water, the canoe knocks against rocks, and the creek rushes loudly along the hull. There's a swooshing noise as I pass through mini rapids. If anyone is trying to find me, all they have to do is listen for the noise that isn't normal. The owl hoots again. I want to tell it to shut up. A voice whispers in my ear, and I whimper. The words are so quiet that I have to think for a second to understand them. Then a voice calls out from the woods, and I manage not to flinch this time. It sounds like a young guy. Don't lose sight of him, another voice shouts back.
I saw his headlamp. It just went out.
Damn. If it is the cops, how'd they track me? I don't hear any dogs. Just that stupid fox yapping and barking. Dogs bay and howl. You see them in the movies and on TV. Those big hounds just wail like they are in agony if they don't track down their target soon. Pain blossoms bright in my side, and my t-shirt goes warm with wetness. I'm starting to think maybe I didn't get hurt on the hike. Maybe this isn't just a bad scratch. Maybe things happened so fast back at the jewelry store that I what? Got shot? No way. No effing way. If I'd been shot, I wouldn't have been able to run to the car, to drive out of town, to keep driving for hours until I found the parking spot, to hike for miles through the woods, to get this damn canoe into the creek. People who get shot fall down. They bleed out and die. They don't make it this far, right? Another chuckle.
Who says you made it?
I shout for Mel to shut up. Then I clamp my hands over my mouth. Stupid Charlie. Stupid me. Voices cry out to each other in the woods. Someone says they see a trail to the creek. I don't have time to stay hidden, to stay low. I grab the paddle and dig it into the water over and over, sending the canoe rocketing ahead. My side screams in agony, and the warm wetness spreads. But I can't think about that. I have to focus on paddling and not getting pounded against rocks that I can't see because my headlamp is off. More pinballing, more pain in my side. But I don't stop. I don't slow. I dig that paddle in. I dig for more energy. I dig for the will to get my diamonds to the cabin. And after an eternity of paddling, I lose the flashlights. I lose the people calling to each other. I lose the chuckling. Just me and the creek now. Easing up, I lay the paddle across my knees as I check my side. My shirt is completely soaked through. It's heavy with my blood. Yeah, not a scratch. My fingers probe the area, and I almost scream when I finally find the hole. Crap, I did catch a round back there. Must have been all the adrenaline that kept me going. That and the fear. I take a risk and turn my headlamp on, keeping it low so I don't light up the creek side. The wound between my ribs is nasty. It's almost a perfectly round hole, but the edges are angry red, almost black. Dark, crimson blood seeps out in pulses, probably timed to my heartbeats. Now that I see it, I feel even worse. and I start to get lightheaded. I slap myself on the cheek, trying to stay alert. I made it all this way. I can't fail now. I can't let a little gunshot take me out. All I have to do is get to the cabin, and I can fix myself up. Mel insisted on putting in months' worth of provisions and supplies. I'll wash out this wound, patch it up, and rest until this mess blows over. I'll be good to leave in a few weeks, no problem. I cough and pretend that I don't notice the dark spit flying from my lips, splattering the edge of the canoe. Just a little phlegm. And everyone knows phlegm looks darker at night. Everyone knows that. The canoe angles to the right, and I come around a bend in the creek. The sight ahead almost makes me cry. A big, huge log lies across the creek, telling me that I'm almost there, almost to the cabin. There's enough space between the canoe and the fallen tree that I barely have to duck as I float under it. Okay, I made it to the tree. Now there's only one more bend to come around, and the little beach connected to the trail that leads to the cabin should be right there. The laughter returns. I ignore it because I know it's only in my head. It's a reaction to being shot. Shock, I think it's called. Just my exhausted mind playing tricks on me. Just the pain getting to me. The cabin will take care of that. It has painkillers and liquor, and food, cans of thick chowder and boxes of mac and cheese. I'll get fixed up, pop some pills, and eat until I pass out. That's what I'll do, just as soon as I get around this next bend. 5 minutes later, I finally make it around the bend. My jaw goes slack, my eyes blink over and over. That's not the little sandy beach I'm looking for. In fact, there's no beach at all. No, now there's a small dock, big enough for a canoe to be lashed to each side, and one side already has one floating there. It's a weird-looking canoe, bright orange. It looks like it's made of plastic, not wood or metal. Never seen anything like it. And on the dock are these dim lamps, one on top of each post. I don't see any wires going to them. How are they working without wires? I paddle around to the open side of the dock, fighting through the pain. Somewhere along the way, I must black out, because the next thing I know, the canoe is knocking against the pilings. I jerk awake and scramble to pull myself back alongside the dock. As my hand grabs a piling, I hear shouts and cries. Oh Lord, the cops found me. They somehow knew about the cabin. I should shove off and keep going, figure out a new plan, a new strategy to keep me out of jail. But the wound in my side says that's not happening. In fact, I'm not sure I can even lift the damn paddle again. The voices grow louder, and I see flashlights bobbing through the trees. They're the same voices as before, only clearer now. They all sound young, with about as many women as men. Then they emerge from the trees and hurry down the dock. They look strange, not the big beams of regular flashlights, but small lights being held up. I think I see the outlines of rectangles, but I can't be sure. All of the lights turn on me, and I have to shield my eyes from the intensity. I've never seen flashlights so small or clear or bright like these. Voices are talking excitedly over each other. I catch snippets of things like, "Holy shit, he's real!" and "Told ya, this creek was haunted." Someone says that the Airbnb should charge way more. Someone tells them to shut up and stop being spoiled, and that not everyone has that kind of money, Alicia. Who is Alicia? Who are these people? They aren't cops, that's for sure. Then someone points to the backpack, and a young guy gets down on his belly on the dock and reaches for the canoe. I swipe at him, and the paddle goes straight through his arm. He screams and scrambles back up onto his feet, laughing about how cold that felt.
We're famous, Charlie.
I gasp and look toward the front of the canoe. Mel is sitting there, bloody and smiling.
Ain't that cool?
He looks up at the group of, I guess, college kids. They all have their rectangle flashlights pointed at us. Someone assures someone else that they are recording, but I don't see anyone with a video camera on their shoulder.
This is always fun. Maybe next year you'll remember more.
I want to ask Mel what he means, but he just chuckles and fades away. The pain in my side suddenly spikes, and I collapse into the canoe. My eyes close. When my eyes open again, I'm lying in the dirt at the end of the hiking trail, the branch-covered canoe only a few feet away. I push myself up and stagger toward it. The canoe is heavier than it looks. I drag it out from beneath the branches we'd piled over it a couple of days ago. The ground is slick beneath my feet, and I keep slipping as I haul it toward the creek a few feet at a time. My side throbs with every pull, but the sun is going down fast, so I grit my teeth and keep moving. For some reason, the whole thing feels strangely familiar. I shake it off. I've got more important things to worry about.